Hell hath no fury like a trans woman scorned. We stopped talking about the trans debate on trigonometry some time ago. Not because we thought it was unimportant, but because we felt that, at the ideas level at least, the argument had been won. After hosting dozens of conversations with cancelled gender-critical feminists, parents of children with gender dysphoria, female athletes, trans people and activists, we had come to a point where we no longer had any questions left to ask. If you think about it, or rather if you're prepared to be honest about it, this is hardly surprising. The trans debate is quite possibly the most insane manifestation of woke ideology we've seen. On one side, you have thousands of years of gender binary history, scientific and medical consensus, and basic common sense. On the other, you have confused children, mediocre athletes who want a leg up, and the mentally disturbed. But such is the power of terrible ideas, especially when they're imposed by the threat of social ostracism and held in place by weaponized empathy, that for a short time, the emperor could strut around the palace naked with her penis on full display. In view of this, I've had little desire to comment on recent developments. When the Health Secretary Wes Streeting introduced a ban on puberty blockers for children on the NHS, to my mind, this was merely a real-world manifestation of a battle that had long been won. Likewise, I saw little reason to celebrate when the British Supreme Court ruled last week that women were in fact women. In my head, all of this had already happened, and we were just waiting for reality to catch up. What I discovered in the wake of that ruling, however, is that reality has yet to reach much of the British left. According to WhatsApp messages leaked to the Daily Mail, Labour ministers are already plotting to negate the effects of the ruling. As you can see, what the people who run our country find appalling is not that males were ever allowed in female sports, but rather the fact that the chair of the Equality and Human Rights Commission has suggested that the Supreme Court ruling prevents them from doing so. But they're hardly alone. Regime comedian Michael Spicer said in a since-deleted tweet that all you had to know about the ruling was that the court had not heard from a single trans organization, describing the decision as a shit show. This is what passes for cutting-edge satire on the BBC. If you are at this point used to the spectacle of politicians and the media elite beclowning themselves on this issue, and comfort yourself with the belief that these moronic views can only survive in the Islington bubble, I must regretfully inform you that it gets worse. Over the weekend, nearly 30 protests against the ruling took place across the UK, from Orkney to Plymouth, with an estimated 30,000 plus participants in London alone. Mostly peaceful and mostly sane slogans included chants like "One struggle, one fight, Palestine and trans rights." My favourite, however, was the juxtaposition of a man, I think, with a placard which read "Trans people are not a threat," and another man, definitely, at the same protest carrying this sign. All in all, while wokeness may have been defeated across the pond here in Britain, we still have a fight on our hands to prove that men are men, women are women, and 2 + 2 does in fact equal 4. If you enjoy these videos, you should know that they're available in my Substack days, weeks, and sometimes months ahead of time. Head on over to konstantinkisin.com and subscribe today. The news we consume shapes how we view the world. But what happens when the stories we see are filtered through the lens of bias and hidden agendas? That's where Ground News steps in. Ground News is the app I use to cut through the noise and get closer to the truth. It's designed to uncover bias and show you the full picture. Visit ground.news/trigonometry to see how it works for yourself. The blind spot feed is a game changer. It reveals stories that either the left or the right are ignoring. For example, here's a story I found on Ground News. Nigeria is admitted as a partner country of the BRICS bloc. Interestingly, out of 108 sources, only 4 outlets on the right covered this. And here's a story almost entirely absent from left-wing coverage. Study finds TikTok suppresses anti-China content, influences opinions. Ground News doesn't just show you the headlines, it provides insights like the number of sources reporting on a story, their bias, and their reliability. You won't find this level of transparency anywhere else. Right now, Trigonometry viewers who subscribe through our link can get 40% off the Unlimited Access Vantage plan, the same plan we use. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code and subscribe at ground.news/trigonometry. Your subscription helps Ground News bring transparency back to the media, something that I fully support.